house tonight, right here on Friday Briefing. And it's about time we cross over to the lakeside city of Kisumu. And I'm now going to be joined by our ward master, Willis Ochieng. Willis, good evening. How is Kisumu? And I'm sure you've enjoyed some of the performances here tonight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
On set, that is the start of tonight's Friday briefing. Yusuf, you came with a punch and that authority that even the cameraman right here in Kisumu, that is Dan Odhiambo, also told me it's really powerful tonight. I have really enjoyed that kind of narrative.
Thanks a lot, Willis, for that. And it's about time we introduce the word on the streets first.
Jeremiad. Jeremiad. Jeremiad.
Jeremiad. Jeremiad. Jeremiad.
Jeremiah. Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
Jeremiad. Jeremiad. Jeremiad.
Jeremiad. Jeremiad. Jeremiad.
Jeremiad. Jeremiad. Jeremiad.
Jeremiad. Jeremiad. Jeremiad.
Willis, I think most Kenyans there had a difficulty pronouncing that word. Can you perhaps demystify for us?
In the first place, Yusuf, the word refers to a very long, sad complaint or a very long list of complaints. And, you know, from what we see, many people would say Jeremiad. That Jeremiad is inaccurate when it comes to the pronunciation of that word. You say Jeremiad. Jeremiad, and that is a noun, and it's a formal word. So we should remember, you say Jeremiad, not Jeremiad, and any other thing. Just like we also say, when we pronounce the name, we say Jeremiah, not Jeremiah. Locally, we are fond of saying Jeremiah, but the pronunciation of the name is Jeremiah. Our word on the street is Jeremiad.
Jeremiad. I hope I got that right. Now, Willis, over to our next word. It means irritate intensely or infuriate. And this is how it goes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it to exasperate?
Yes, exasperate. You say exasperate.
Exasperate. Okay, over to another word,
that voice
Willis.
Sound, eg.
Yes, over to another word that is used, especially in news, and that is about a temporary suspension of fighting. Is it ceasefire?
Yes, you say ceasefire. Now that S takes the voiceless or what we call the unvoiced sound. An unvoiced or voiceless sound, Yusuf, is that sound that is produced without the vibration of the vocal cords. So you say ceasefire. What we should avoid is saying ceasefire. Ceasefire is inaccurate.
So over to our next word, Willis, and this is, I mean, there's quite a mouthful, and it means a change or a change of circumstances or of fortune. Is it, I mean, I'm not even going to attempt this. Can you perhaps demystify that for us?
Oh, you're talking about vicissitude?
Yes.
Yes, you say vicissitude.
Wow.
Vicissitude. As you said, it's a mouthful. There are certain words that, you know, technically we say they are unpronounceables. Though they can be managed, but they are unpronounceables in the sense that either they are too long or they are foreign. So you say for this word, vicissitude.
Vicissitude. Okay, interesting. Now, Willis, over to another word here, which is a chemical element. It's mostly used in nuclear reactors. Is it uranium?
Yes, you say uranium. What we should avoid is uranium. That letter A takes its name as the sound in that word, uray. That diphthong, the glide, uranium.
Over to our next word, Willis. Let me spell it. It's C-O-N-V-A-L-E-S-C-E.
Oh, that is to convalesce. It's a verb, and that means, to recuperate or recuperate, or you can also use the word recover. You say to convalesce. Now, the problem is sometimes when we have inflection, when I talk about inflection, Yusuf, it's about the change of a word or the form of a word for grammatical functions. And this word really, disturbs many people. The verb is convalesce. You now say, when you have the progressive form, you say convalescing. So and so is convalescing at the hospital. You don't say convalescencing. We have convalescence, which is the noun form of that word, but you don't say convalescencing because you can't use a noun to talk about or to describe an action. So, in brief, you say convalesce.
Yes. And Willis, I don't know if you're a fan of the English Premier League. There's a coach who gave his team a very lengthy and aggressive speech after they lost a match. So what will you call that? Can you perhaps pronounce that word for us? Is it harangue? I mean, it's Harangue.
Harangue. Yes.
Harangued.
To give somebody a harangue. And remember that word can also be used, or it can also function as a verb. To harangue somebody or to give somebody a harangue. Not harangue, harangue you, harange, and all that. No. You say ha, then you have the primary stress. As you pronounce the second syllable, you say rang, harangue.
Harangue.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Over to our final word, at least for now. And this is the meaning. It's about providing supplementary or additional help. And this is how it goes. I hope I'm correct this time round. Is it auxiliary?
Yes, that is it, Yusuf. As I told you, Yusuf, the other time, I love your command of English as a language.
I'm really trying, Willis.
The pronunciation of words. Not trying. Yusuf, get it clearly from me. And in fact, to say it in the most sincere way, you have, in fact, I would give you 98% of almost the words that I hear you pronounce. And, having what we call an honest to goodness kind of pronunciation, just understanding the sounds or the sound sequences in a word. It matters a lot because it makes you communicate in a very clear way, and that is exactly what I hear from you. As you've said it, Yusuf, you say auxiliary. We can talk about auxiliary workers, and you can also talk, or when we talk of grammar, we have auxiliary verbs. Now, that is the way to pronounce that word.
And I believe you have some more words, especially from your fans. I know you have a lot of following, especially on Twitter.
Yeah, the feedback, the fans on Twitter and all that, we'll have, first of all, to handle the word from one Scholastica Makoha of Kakamega. She had the word dispossess, dispossess, dispossess. Many people say dispossess. Some even say dispossess, which is wrong. You say dispossess, dispossessed, and dispossession. That is the way to go. Ahmed Guhad of Northeastern region, you say protege, not a protege, political protege. Eddie Mwangi of Kiambu, you say long, but the comparative is not longer. You say longer. And we also have stronger. You also say younger. When you come to the superlatives, you say longest, strongest, youngest. Don't say youngest, longest, strongest. That is wrong, Eddie Mwangi of Kiambu and our viewers. Martha Mutisia of Makueni, you say award. Many people, Yusuf, find themselves saying award. He was awarded. We don't say that. It's award. That A and R function as a digraph, a combination of two letters representing one sound. And in this case, they represent the long sound O. Award, awarded, reward, rewarded. Not award, awarded, reward, and rewarded. Common locally, but wrong. Agnes Charo of Nyali, Mombasa, you say circumstantially. Circumstantially. Don't say circumstantially. Cially may be common, but you say shally. Circumstantially. Bosibori Moragia, Michael of Canada. Oh, all the way from Canada. halabaloo. Don't say hulabaloo. That U takes the mid-central sound halabaloo, just like Hull City. Then we say the word that we have, that is the name of the 12th month in a year, is December. What you see is December, and this one came from Jacob Zuma Otiende. Jacob, you say December, don't say December. Mwita Thomas of Kehancha, you say duty. Duty, that is D-U-T-Y. Mwalimu Lazaro Obila, you say curriculum. This name reminds me a lot about so many things in life, Yusuf. If I'm not wrong, this must be the person who taught me, at the primary school level in Homa Bay County. Mwalimu Lazaro Obila, if you're the one, thank you so much, and keep it KTN News or KTN Home, because you'll get everything. So you say curriculum. Christopher Obiero of Kisii University, you say priority. Don't say priority. Priority, no. You say priority. And you say to prioritize. Prioritize, not prioritize. Lavender Atieno of Awendo Town, the past tense of the verb win is won. That is W-O-N. He won the seat. They won the match. The team won the match. And Lavender Atieno, you say Leicester. Leicester City, not Leicester. Locally, what we see is like we should say Leicester, but that is not the pronunciation of that name. You say Leicester. Grace Kamwaro of Narok, you say vehemently, not vehemently. Vehemently is very common locally, but that is a mispronunciation of that word. The police officers vehemently refused to divulge any information, not vehemently, as commonly said locally. Then you say bizarre, a bizarre incident. Mwalimu Joseph Nyaramba of Migori, you say favorite. Favorite, not favorite. If you say favorite, you are like somebody saying opposite because of S-I-T-E, that is site. But in the word opposite, don't say opposite or opposite. You also say favorite, not favorite, which we use commonly. And you also say pupil or pupil, then women or women as the plural of woman. Then Mark Kajuang of Rodi, you say karma or karma, especially when it is a name, and then the other name is very tricky. You say Helesi or Helesi. Aurelia J. Abongo, the name is not Cholmondeley. That is what you see. It reminds me about Tom Chamley. Anyway, that name is long, but somebody once told me so many letters were wasted in that name. When you pronounce it, you just say Chamley with a mid-central sound Chamley or Chomley. And then the next one you say Fanshaw, Fanshaw. Then finally, Fred Nyakundi. Oh, Fred Nyakundi, the word scheme has C and H functioning as a digraph. A digraph is a combination of two letters representing one sound. So C is not silent. H is not silent. The silent word, the silent letter in that word is the last E. You say scheme, scheme. Then, Yusuf, we can now go straight to the surprise word for tonight. Now, when we come to the surprise word for tonight, dear viewers, many people, especially when we have court sessions and all that, you may hear of, to adjourn. Adjourn, a very common mispronunciation. That is not the way to go. You say adjourn, adjourn. When you look at the phonetic transcription that I've used right here, this is the long mid-central vowel sound adjourn. It is the weak sound then you have the primary stress, then you say John, John. For those who understand phonetic transcription in line with the international or the international phonetic alphabet, you can understand the phonetic transcription down here. But you say adjourn, adjourn. And with that, you also say alibi or alibi, not alibi. Alibi is what we see. You say alibi or alibi. And then you say affidavit, an affidavit, not affidavit. Very common, but inaccurate. Then we go straight to the words which confuse people. And I have 4 words for you, dear viewers. The first one is L-A-U-D. That word, which also means to praise, you say Lord, Lord, with a long sound O. L-A-U-D, Lord. To Lord somebody, he lauded the efforts. Lord. It is the same pronunciation with L-O-R-D. You can see the phonetic transcription here, Lord. Also this one, Lord. So L-A-U-D and L-O-R-D are pronounced the same way. Words which have different spellings and meanings but pronounced the same way are technically called homophones. Then we have L-O-A-D, you say load. It has that slight vowel glide, O, load. Then the one below, L-O-U-D, also has a diphthong. A diphthong is a dual vowel glide. That is like now we have here, ow, ow. The spelling is L-O-U-D, but you say loud, loud. And that is the transcription that I have given you right here. Otherwise, Yusuf, anything from your side?
Thank you very much, Willis.
You have
it's
anything, Yusuf?
always a pleasure to link up with you. I think we'll be lost without you. Thanks a lot for that. And let me go through some of the